Is it just me, or do I think like birds are actually like fucking real? Like I don't know. Like I think the idea of like birds is like created by like the government, and they're trying to like control like the perception of reality. I don't know. That's just me. No, but seriously, I'm gonna be reviewing Andrea Arnold's new film Bird, which stars Nakia Adams, Barry Keoghan, and Franz Rogowski. I saw this at TIFF not too long ago. Well, it was back in September. But I also checked it out at one of my local film festivals just to like rewatch it again to kind of like get a better grasp of the film. This film is basically a kind of return to form with Andrea Arnold, as she was doing a documentary back in the early 2020s called Cow, which was just about like these cows and how they were growing up in the farm. But even before that, like her filmography has been kind of like varied between different films about like the working class communities, either in Britain and with American Honey being in America in the Midwest. Hence why I really, really love Andrea Arnold as a director. She's one of my favorite directors working today. I think she's like right up there with like Mike Lee and Ken Loach, those type of directors that actually like show the real struggles of working class life while also reflecting on like humanity and like how humanity can be like healed with just several amounts of like conversations with other people. And I think Bird continues that like legacy of Andrea Arnold continuing to make films about the working class communities. But this time around, it being back in this like English setting, now she has more stuff to play around with in terms of like how social media is turning more of a kind of perspective on like young life, as our main character Bailey is learning about her world through the eyes of social media and TikTok, and just making like small random videos on her phone. And you also have Barry Keoghan's character, who is kind of like this absent father character who comes in and out of the picture trying to help Bailey get in terms with his world. And while, you know, Barry Keoghan's character is going through all like the damage of getting married, you also have Bailey's, and then there's also a narrative going on with Bailey's brother, who is trying to search for the mother of the newborn baby that's about to come into his life. And there's just a lot of stuff that's happening in this film. There's a lot of just normal working class life that's happening in this film. But I think what's also really interesting about this film is its usage of magical realism. I won't go super deep into what it is about, but I do think Andrea like playing around with like this idea makes the film feel a little bit more wholer, at least for me. I know a lot of people are going to be like turned off by like the magical realism aspect in the third act. It plays around with it like kind of in a really cool way in the first like 2/3 of the film, especially when you have Barry Keoghan's character who gets a toad and he wants to extract the psychedelic slime of this toad in order to, you know, sell it off to an export in the US so he can make money off of it and use it for the wedding. And the entire time he's using this toad as a way to kind of like help out like his own like world. And on top of that, he uses the toad to play music, dad tunes, classic like 90s Britpop songs like The Verve and Blur. And you'll also have moments where it'll play Coldplay in order to kind of like get the toad going. But yeah, like that aspect is kind of there. And then you also have Franz Rogowski, who plays Bird, the titular character. And throughout the entire movie, he kind of acts like a bird, even though he isn't one. He's just a hobo who's trying to like find his family. And the entire film is basically just finding your own like self-purpose and just finding your own family. And again, Andrea Arnold is really good with that type of filmmaking. She's been doing it for like years and years. And I think, even though I do think this is like weaker than her other films like American Honey and Fish Tank, I think it's still like one of the best films of the year, hands down. And it all comes down to whether or not you're going to enjoy the magical realism aspect of the film, and also just the main characters going through like these motions of life. But yeah, like I don't have any like bad thoughts about this film. It was just very positive. It was very light. It really spoke to me in ways that like her films always do, in terms of just showing life and like letting like life go as it is, and while also being very attentive, emotional, and just expressive of like everything that you have around you. And again, her musical selections are just sublime, like hands down, sublime. She uses like Fontaine's DC to open up the film, and then she closes it with Cotton Eye Joe. But even before that, she uses the Verbs Lucky Man to kind of put the film together in terms of just Barry Keoghan's character, Bailey's sibling, and just everything around her. But yeah, like I just really love this film. I don't have any like, again, bad words to say about this film. It's a 5/5, 5 stars. It's like top 10, like it's peak, brother. Like I can't say anything else about this film. But yeah, that's my review for Bird. Hope you guys enjoy this little small review. Take care. I have more coming. I'm probably going to be doing some Golden Globes predictions because it's coming up, and like the nominations I think are arriving in December, so I have to like figure out those like top main categories. But yeah, that's basically it. Peace out. So the moral of the story is that you can just get a Toad, play it Coldplay, and you can make profit off of it. وثيقا منكرات كنت آتيها غروبا وشروقا كنت ميتا في بحور الغي والإثم غريقا